I'm Teisha Bader with Shalom TV's news update for Wednesday, January the 8th, 2014. There are still conflicting accounts of what occurred yesterday at the Arab village of Kusra in the West Bank. As we reported to you, a group of Jewish settlers clashed with local Palestinians of the village who claim the settlers came in with the intent to carry out a price tag or protest attack on them. The settlers were reportedly held and beaten by the villagers. The IDF stated that their initial inquiry suggests the confrontation erupted following a law enforcement activity earlier in the day in the outpost of Esh Kodesh, referring apparently to the Israeli civil administration's uprooting of a settler olive grove near the West Bank outpost. The IDF said the tenants of the illegal structure in Esh Kodesh were evicted, and following the eviction, violent clashes emerged between dozens of settlers and Palestinians, including stone hurling. The IDF said that according to a preliminary report, several settlers were rescued by IDF troops after staying in a building in the village and had suffered mild to moderate injuries. Ynet reports that Palestinian residents of the village claimed the settlers entered their village and attacked a young boy, and the residents then came to his defense and stopped the settlers, who they said ran into a Palestinian house that was under construction. According to Palestinian activists for human rights, locals surrounded the house and were intending to attack the settlers, but the activists claim they helped prevent further violence on the settlers by creating a buffer around the house and preventing the residents from getting inside. The Associated Press reported that about 200 Palestinian villagers had gathered by the time IDF troops arrived on the scene. The Jerusalem Post reports, citing a security source, that elder Palestinian residents of the village prevented further violence towards the Israeli settlers. The settlers denied any intention of a price tag attack in the village and said they were simply hiking in the area. The incident remains under investigation. Meanwhile, in an apparent price tag or protest attack of yesterday's incident in Kusra, 2 Palestinian vehicles were found burnt out this morning in the nearby Arab village of Madama, which is north of Nablus, with graffiti scrawled next to the cars reading Esh Kodesh Revenge and price tag, as well as a Star of David. Responding to the violent disturbances in the West Bank, Israeli Defense Minister Moshe Yaalon said that hate crimes against Palestinians are, quote, terrorism in every way. He said Israel had zero tolerance regarding price tag incidents and said, "We will not allow marginal, extreme, and violent groups to forcefully and illegally take control of properties that are not theirs, to threaten Palestinian residents who work their lands, and thuggish behavior on the ground in a way that endangers public peace and which could spark a conflagration." Price tag attacks in general are thought to be the work of right-wing extremists in Israel protesting Israeli government policies in the settlements and or attacks on Israeli settlers. Haaretz reports that a Dutch pension fund has announced it is divesting from several Israeli banks. PGGM of the Netherlands, which is one of the world's larger pension asset managers, says it is divesting from 5 Israeli banks it says have branches in or are involved in financing construction of Jewish settlements in the West Bank. The banks are Bank HaPoalim, Bank Leumi, First International Bank of Israel, Israel Discount Bank, and Mizrahi Tfachot. PGGM cited their policy of social responsibility, saying they consider the settlements unethical. The divestment is just the latest effort of the BDS, or Boycott, Divestment and Sanctions Movement, which seeks to delegitimize the State of Israel, and follows a similar action by another Dutch company, Vitens, the Netherlands' largest drinking water supplier, who this past December decided to cut ties with Israel's national water corporation, Mekorot. A court in Germany has decided not to pursue a case against a former member of the Nazi SS, saying there are too many holes in the evidence. Dutch-born Siert Bruins, who is now 92, went on trial in September in the city of Hagen on charges that he executed a resistance fighter in the northern Netherlands in 1944. The DPA news agency reported today, though, that the court has now shelved the case instead of delivering a verdict, saying that too much evidence was missing and it was no longer possible to question many of the witnesses. And staying with Germany, the government of Bavaria, one of the 16 German states, announced yesterday that it would introduce a bill in the upper house of the German legislature aimed at facilitating the restitution of Nazi-looted art. The new legislation passed a first reading yesterday. It was proposed by Bavarian Justice Minister Winfried Bausbach. If it were adopted, it would increase the statute of limitations in cases of Nazi-looted property beyond the 30-year statute which is currently in place, allowing original owners or their heirs to make claims on art. The legislation follows the recent discovery in a Munich apartment of a massive collection of art masterpieces by Nazi art dealer Hildebrand Gerlit, which is estimated to be worth somewhere around $1.4 billion. The legislation will now be debated in the federal government's upper chamber, or Bundesrat, next month. If approved there, it will also be read in the lower chamber, or Bundestag. World Jewish Congress President Ronald Lauder welcomed the Bavarian initiative as a, quote, step in the right direction, but called it insufficient to deal with the problem of Nazi-looted art in Germany. Israel Hayom reports that the Jewish National Fund's Chula Nature Reserve Visitor Center will be named after Canadian Prime Minister Stephen Harper. The honor is being given to Harper in recognition of his ongoing friendship with and support of Israel. The Canadian Prime Minister is scheduled to visit Israel in 2 weeks. The Conference of Presidents of major American Jewish organizations announced that the International Jewish Fraternity, Alpha Epsilon Pi, has been voted into membership of the organization, becoming the first college student organization to be a full member of the conference. The members voted to admit the fraternity after a unanimous recommendation by the President's Conference Membership Committee. Conference Chairman Robert Sugarman and Executive Vice Chairman and CEO Malcolm Hoenlein said that the admission of the fraternity reflects the commitment to involve the next generation of leaders. They said AEPI is a remarkable organization with affiliates on campuses across the country and provides an array of educational and advocacy training programs. They said, we have seen firsthand not only the quality of the members, but also their commitment to promoting Jewish involvement and Israel on campus. AEPI's International President Yaalon and Executive Director Andrew Borens said their membership in the conference means the fraternity will be able to make an even greater impact on Jewish identity, Jewish leadership, and Israel advocacy. They said, we look forward to joining with our colleagues in helping to address the urgent challenges facing the Jewish people throughout the world. AEPI's proven track record, they said, of Jewish leadership, philanthropy, and unequivocal support for the State of Israel will be an important asset for the conference. And turning to our Shalom TV programming for tonight, Wednesday, January the 8th, 2 programs from the recent Anti-Defamation League's 100th anniversary gala. At 8 p.m. tonight, TEV Chairman Daniel Bodnar will discuss anti-Semitism in Hungary, and then at 8:30, political consultant John Martilla discusses American prejudices and politics. Then later tonight on L'Chaim at 9, Mark Golub is joined by Phyllis Goldstein, senior writer for Facing History and Ourselves, who discusses anti-Semitism across the ages in her book, A Convenient Hatred. That's all coming up tonight here on Shalom TV and ShalomTV.com. And that's Shalom TV's news update for Wednesday, January the 8th, 2014. I'm Teisha Bader.